WTVN TV, Channel 6, Columbus. This is Action 6 News, the Weekend Report, with Tom Griffith and Gail Hogan, Drew Hayes with the weather, and Mike Rada Sports.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Gail Hogan. Tom Griffith has the night off. Terrorism, it has struck close to home. An Upper Arlington woman is a victim of the terrorist shooting in Rome's airport yesterday. 77-year-old Elizabeth Root was shot in the chest by machine gun fire. Apparently, Root is in a Rome hospital and has had surgery. Root's traveling companion, Isabel Simmons, is also from Columbus. She was with Root at the time of the terrorist attack, but Simmons was not injured. A friend of both women talked to us today and says he had a phone call from Simmons just a few hours ago.
She said she was all right. She saw the gunman, and they sprayed the gun in the room where they were, and it hit her on the sleeve or something, but didn't penetrate. And I said, "How's Liz?" She says Liz was shot through the chest and went through.
Simmons went on to say Rome's airport was like a madhouse with people screaming and yelling. First a bomb went off, then shooting began. Cotty, who has traveled himself, says it is difficult to understand the reasons behind terrorism.
I mean, Westerner, it's practically impossible to get any insight into their manner of thinking.
At the same time Rome's airport was hit, another similar terrorist attack took place at the Vienna airport. 5 of the 18 dead are Americans. Suspects captured in both attacks are believed to be Palestinian. The PLO chief Yasser Arafat says his group is not to blame. Following a report we did last night on the Comfy Kid dolls, we've received a number of calls from concerned viewers. About 1 million of them were sold nationwide, and it appears many of them are here in Columbus. Yesterday, as we told you, Los Angeles County health officials said the dolls they tested contained a number of contaminants, and they recommended you take the dolls away from your children, double bag them, and send them back for a refund.
We believe that the aggregate presence of these chemical contaminants constitutes a potential health threat to children over the long term.
Well, today the New York company selling the dolls and federal officials said the dolls are safe. Since we're now getting conflicting reports, we decided to check in with the Central Ohio Poison Control Center, Children's Hospital. They, too, have received a number of calls about the dolls.
What we've been recommending is that if there are any symptoms, any medical problems at all, that they first of all contact their local doctor as they would for any health problem. If there's a question with the doll itself, we're simply recommending that they bag the doll back up and mail it back to the manufacturer.
The company selling the dolls promises a full refund 1 year from the date of purchase if you're dissatisfied with the dolls. And if you need their address, it's Abernathy and Closter, Comfy Kid Doll, Department 244101, Box 256, Jericho, New York, right there on your screen, 11753. And if you have any further questions, you can call the Central Ohio Poison Control Center here at Children's Hospital. Their telephone number, 228-1313. The condition of artificial heart patient Mary Lund continues to improve. Lund is the first woman to receive an artificial implant. In Minneapolis, doctors say Lund remains in a light coma, but her neurological state has continued to improve. That's the good news. And she's opening her eyes when people talk to her. Doctors are optimistic about Lund's full recovery, but they say her kidneys are still not working up to par. Here in Central Ohio, a Lancaster family is hoping to find a heart donor for their son. Liz Ogletree visited the family today.
No one ever thinks it'll happen to them, but it does. The Bowles family can agree with that. Their 27-year-old son, Danny, has a rare heart disease called cardiomyopathy, which impairs the heart's ability to pump blood.
Oh, it was heartbreaking. It was hard to take, but now we have to hope for the best.
Danny Bowles has been battling the heart ailment since 1981, when he had his first heart attack at age 22.
Well, yeah, with congestive heart failure and rapid heartbeats. And that's why. The way they say is some kind of disease in a muscle. And it just keeps getting worse.
A team of Ohio State University cardiologists are expected to perform the operation in the spring. But not only does the family need to worry about finding a donor for the heart transplantation, they'll also have to come up with the funds to have it. It sure won't be an easy task for the Bowles family to raise the necessary $100,000 for the operation. So that's why a special fund has been set up here at the Buckeye Federal Savings and Loan Association in Lancaster.
As of last week, there was about $150 in there. We just started. I just heard about it 2 weeks before Christmas. So we're just getting our committee together.
If you would like to help the Bowles family, you can send your donation to Buckeye Federal Savings and Loan at 1283 North Memorial Drive in Lancaster. Liz Ogletree, Action 6 News.
Up next, 136 truckloads of dirt have been dumped in the Ohio Center. I'll tell you why. And a special look at the needs of some special people. A close-up of ABC's Growing Old in America when we come back. The most serious accidents happen a few blocks from home. Two Hamilton Township women know just how true this is. The two were involved in a head-on collision last night, less than 1 mile from their homes. 47-year-old Toni Vilworth is in poor condition after being pinned in her car for 20 minutes. Life flight was used to get the woman to Grant Hospital quickly. The woman in the other car, 60-year-old Virginia Overt, is in stable condition tonight at Mercy Hospital. The Franklin County Sheriff's Department is still investigating that accident. This holiday season, there's an extra reason to celebrate at the Northworth Convalescent Home in Worthington. That's because Ursel Patmore celebrated her 100th birthday today. She was joined by family and friends. The party was complete with birthday cake, candles, and 100 roses donated by the Vyrick florist here in Columbus. Well, at one time or another, every family faces the problem of caring for elderly parents or grandparents. ABC is taking an in-depth look at the problems of growing old in a documentary special. Most ABC stations will be carrying the show tonight, but here at Channel 6, we will be preempting the show for the United Negro College Fund Telethon. But the documentary Growing Old in America will be aired right here on Channel 6 tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. And many of you will find a familiar face in the show.
Marge Boley, 66, of Columbus, Ohio, worked full and later part-time at J.C. Penney for 20 years, anticipating a pension she never got.
The pension wouldn't have been a great deal, but just any amount of pension would help with your Social Security and help on the expenses. You know, things that you need, but you have to figure out how to get by without. The garden helps a lot on the groceries.
Marge Boley never received her pension because the J.C. Penney plan, like roughly half of America's pension plans, was integrated. That means a company can subtract a retiree's Social Security payments from the projected pension benefit. A practice particularly painful when employees don't understand it.
I just got this letter saying that their Social Security met their requirements for my retirement and that I would get no pension at all.
And was that a surprise?
It was a shock.
That is just a clip from the ABC documentary. Again, the show will be aired on Channel 6 tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Cornell Collins, he's one of Alton Coleman's defense attorneys. He wants off the case. The court-appointed lawyer says Coleman is a liar and asked to be removed after learning the convicted murderer filed a motion without consulting either of his attorneys. Coleman and co-defendant Deborah Brown were sentenced to death for 2 murders in Cincinnati during a Midwest robbery and killing spree in the summer of 1984. Drew Hazen with the weather, and you can get rid of the cold weather as far as I'm concerned.
Sorry, I just got back from, I scouted the weather in Orlando for you. I know it was great for
thanks.
the football game and everything.
What was it like down there?
It was gorgeous. Well, it was sunshiny here. It wasn't exactly what you would call warm, and it's not going to warm up, but then again, it's not going to be snow either. We'll check it all out right after this. Okay, so the weather wasn't at all like Orlando, but we had a couple of things going for us. It wasn't as cold as it has been in the past, and you wanted to go skiing anyway, right? Let's take a look at the current conditions. Right now, outside, the temperature 23 degrees, the wind's out of the southwest at 11. Wind chill factor then feels like 5 degrees. The humidity at 57%, the barometer at 30.08. Our high today was 25 degrees, the low at 9, and as you can see, we're way off the normals for this date, which means it's been cold outside. But with the cold weather, you get an opportunity for a little bit of skiing, so we check some of the conditions for you. If you want to go up to Clear Fork at Butler, you've got 16 to 19-inch base, you've got packed powder and some pretty good skiing. If you're thinking about maybe making a trip to Mad River at Bellefonte, I love that name, Bellefonte, 20 to 24-inch base, you've got packed powder there as well. And if you're thinking about making the trip to, how about Mansfield, Snow Trails, 12 to 18-inch base, they've got a packed surface there as well. And they're not going to get any new snow. We have got to take a look at the satellite to understand why. And you can see we've got some cloud cover over the state. In fact, the entire northern part of the United States is indeed covered with snow. And there's a band of clouds that covers parts of Florida, most of Florida indeed, but it's not enough to get any cloud cover for the Citrus Bowl in Orlando. Let's take a look at our radar. Currently, we see that there is no precipitation over the state of Ohio, which is good news for us. However, there is some to the west of us. In Illinois, we've got some snow flurries. Also in western New York, you can see some snow flurry activity. To the south of us, well, we've got some rain showers that are occurring in over the northern parts of Florida and the Panhandle. But again, take a look. They were nice and clear for the Citrus Bowl in Orlando. And let's take a look at what we can expect in terms of low temperatures for this evening. What we can see is that if you take a look around the state, you notice that we're going to be between 16 and 10. And that's about what it ought to be for this time of year. In terms of highs tomorrow, go to Portsmouth if you want to get out in the sunshine and the warm weather. The cold spot will be Toledo and Cleveland at 28 degrees, between 40 and 28. And this is all happening as a result of some pretty interesting systems. Actually, high pressure. You get the snow flurries out in Illinois. Moving our way, we'll get some of those before the night is over. And this frontal system here over Florida is going to throw a little bit of the more mild weather our way. We should get a little bit of precipitation tonight and tomorrow, but not too much else. This trough here is going to help hold those snow flurries up. And this warm front is going to stay back there. This sunshine, this high pressure right here is what's going to figure into our forecast. Let's take a look right now. For this evening, we see clouds rolling in, colder, maybe even a chance of a snow flurry, the low at 13 degrees. For tomorrow, we see mostly cloudy skies, chance of flurries, and a high at 30 degrees. For tomorrow night, flurries tapering off, a low at 20. And let's look at the rest of the week. Mostly sunny on Monday, mostly fair on Tuesday, and Wednesday, you get that day off for New Year's Day. And we're looking for fair skies and some moderate temperatures, Gail.
You know, we really shouldn't complain because we had a white Christmas. Cold weather kept the snow on the ground.
Well, you had a little bit of everything, and now we're getting back to the normal temperatures. 2 weeks ago, we were cold as could be.
Okay, thanks, Drew. Up next in sports, the Buckeyes in Orlando for the Citrus Bowl. Mike has highlights when we come back. With sports, and you say the game today wasn't what anybody expected.
Yeah, people were talking about a 42-40 shootout, but instead it was defense that dominated, and Ohio State shut down the #1 offense in the country, but still it went down to the final play. Cougars with a chance to tie it with just seconds remaining opt to go for the win instead, but they come up short. 10-7 Bucks win. This is a tough game for everyone who played, especially for Keith Byers. He saw action on the first series, but went out with yet another foot injury. Not only a tough day, but a tough season for this guy. Second quarter, Bucks up 3-0, and Robbie Bosco, who didn't have a good day at all today, the Bucks were all over him, but here he finds some room to the left side of the field. And now look at him. He throws all the way back across the field. Now this is a design play. He really hangs it up. David Miles will come down with it, but look, it looks like he steps out of bounds here on the 1-yard line. Still, they give him 6, and it was 7-3 BYU at the half. Third quarter now, defense really doing it. Larry Kolick with the interception, and look at Larry go. 12 yards for the score. Bucks were on top 10-7, and you really got to give the defense credit. They took a lot of abuse all season, but today they forced 6 turnovers and stopped one of college football's best quarterback. This interception here, the second one for Larry Kolick. Both offensive, really ineffective. OSU leading 10-7 fourth quarter. Bosco going deep with about 4 minutes to play, but William White with a great interception in the end zone, his 6th of the year, and the drive was stopped. But BYU got it back with 10 seconds left. Instead of trying for a 51-yard field goal, they go for the win instead. Bosco airing it out, but Terry White all alone in the end zone, able to intercept, and Ohio State able to hang on for a 10-7 win.
No, well, I knew if our defense played a great game and stopped Robbie Bosco from driving that we'd win the game. And hopefully offense was going to put some points on the board. We only got 3, and thank God that was enough. But, you know, we had some chances. We messed up. Defense just played a superb game.
Anytime you play a great quarterback, especially with our secondary, you want to have a good game, and you want to cause those interceptions and make them have the mistakes. And the same thing that happened in Iowa. We caused them to have the mistakes, and we came out victorious, and it was a low-scoring game just like today. So I think anytime you go against a great passer, you need to have, you know, extremely good defense.
You get yourself psyched up for a big game like this, and then it ends before you know it happened. And it was pretty tough, but football is a team sport, and I enjoyed being a part of this team for the last 4 years. And when I went down, somebody stepped in and did the job too, and that's what it's all about. And so it made the victory more enjoyable for me also.
And a quick side note, OSU apparently on the verge of losing yet another assistant. The Dispatch reported this morning that offensive coordinator Glenn Mason could be headed to Bowling Green to take the head job there. It was pretty much a defensive struggle at the Sun Bowl as well. Georgia and Arizona. Third quarter, Georgia's James Jackson back looking to throw. He does, but he finds Rudolph Martin. Rudolph Martin with the interception finds some room down the near sideline, gets some good blocking, and fights his way into the end zone. 13-3, Arizona on top. Fourth quarter now, it's 13-6. Arizona still led, but Lars Tate goes in for Georgia to tie it. Both kickers missed field goals with under 1:30 to play, so it ends in a 13-13 tie. In the National Football League's playoffs underway today, in the AFC wildcard game in progress, New England beating New York Jets 23-7 in the third quarter. All right, basketball fans all across the country thankful that the Kentucky State Legislature had the gumption to push for a Kentucky-Louisville basketball matchup every year, because every year it features some of the best basketball in the country. Today at the Rupp in Lexington, no love lost between these two teams. Winston Bennett hits Billy Thompson in the head with the ball. And then Winston Bennett proves that maybe, you know, Louisville not quite as good on this day. Look at him steal the ball and dunk it through. Then the master blaster, Richard Madison, off the loose ball, slams it home. And Kenny Walker, now this is why he's one of the best players in the country. When he gets it inside, there's just no doubt Kentucky wins 69-64. And Kentucky-Louisville, not the only good game today at Madison Square Garden. The finals of the ECAC tournament, St. John's and St. Bonaventure. St. John's is in red, and they're really working the transition game. A nice lay-in here off of it. And Walter Berry, another big day as St. John's rolls 85-69. College basketball last night, Ohio State take notice because the Bucks down in El Paso will take on UTEP tomorrow night. And UTEP's coming off one heck of a big upset. Last night they knocked off 5th-ranked Georgetown. And for the Hoyas, it was their first non-conference loss in 38 games. UTEP is for real, folks. Let's check them out. This is Gee Whiz Jackson. Look at him slam right here. And then it's Juden Smith. Will get a nice pass inside here and puts it in. UTEP tomorrow night against the Buckeyes. I hope the Buckeyes are ready because they beat Georgetown last night. The Ohio State men not the only ones with a tough task this weekend. Tonight, 7:30 at St. John Arena, the 14th-ranked Lady Buckeyes will take on 15th-ranked University of Nevada, Las Vegas. And when you think of women's basketball's more powerful teams, UNLV doesn't exactly pop into your mind, but just because we haven't heard much about the Lady Rebels doesn't mean they're not a good basketball team.
Prior to starting the season, we've won, 70 games or 76 games or something like that, and lost 11 or 14. So I'm not real sure what we are. But we've been successful the past 3 years, and we're just trying to continue that success. And for us, this is a real good opportunity, and it's going to be a great game.
And I got to mention to you that tonight at DeSales, Vince Ciccarella will try to win his 400th game against Johnstown.
Wow.
And congratulations to the Buckeyes. They finished the season 9-3.
Great. Thanks, Mike. Well, what sport do you need truckloads of dirt for? Well, we'll tell you up next. Stay with us. Said that the family that prays together stays together. Well, Jeff Simpson found a good example of a family that stays together by playing together. Jeff's report is from the Ohio Center.
Meet Tiffany Reedy. The 15-year-old girl is bunched in this group of racers. If you're surprised that Tiffany is racing, you might also be surprised that her 38-year-old father enjoys the same sport, as does her older brother.
I started first, and then my sister raced the next week. And they had dad's races where all the dads would get out and race, and my dad started doing that. Then my mom, she started helping around the track, keeping score.
Do more things with your parents, and it's like they really care because they do stuff with you. It's not like they just try to get rid of you.
Mm-hmm. You able to talk about just about anything with your parents?
Yeah.
The Reedies are part of what promoters tout as one of the fastest-growing sports in the country, BMX, or bicycle motocross racing. And this weekend, the event has drawn more than 2,500 riders and their families to Columbus. Mike Sr. agrees. This helps to keep his family close.
I raced for a few weeks, and then they tried to get me interested in racing on it. So I started racing on it with them then, and we've been on it for, 6 years, I guess, now. Because you have to listen to them. They have to listen to you. And it just really becomes a lot more fun communicating with your kids. You don't lose touch with them. I really, truly do think that it helps quite a bit. I agree, it's not a cure-all, but it's really a good step in working with your children.
Jeff Simpson, Action 6 News.
That looks like a lot of fun. Have you ever done that, Mike?
No, never have.
Oh, you got to do that. Coming up tonight at 7 o'clock, 7 to midnight, right here on Channel 6, the United Negro College Fund Telethon. Karen Massey and Mike Jackson are our local hosts.
They're going to let me
Yeah.
elbow my way in there a little bit, too. We'll have some fun from 7 until midnight on 6.
A very good cause. Please do watch the show and call in your pledges. And we'll see you tomorrow at 6. Good night, everybody.